please check that your seatbelts are fastened.
We made it! Our first steps into Europe were into the Copenhagen airport, and then we got some train tickets and we made our way to our hotel, where we rested up for the night and got ready to board our ship the next day.
Say something deep.
The ocean.
Alright, so where are we going today, Michael?
We're going to the Edvard Grieg house.
Because we're music nerds and it's required.
There's a church too.
Stave Church, yeah, which is one of the really old-fashioned Norwegian churches. It's not completely original because the original one, which was built in like 1100 something, was burned down, I think, but it's like an exact replica. We're also going to try and go out a little early because our excursion doesn't start until 11:15. So we're going to try and wander around the city a little bit and yeah. Bergen, here we go.
The scenery as we sailed into Bergen that morning was absolutely breathtaking. Definitely not a bad view with your morning coffee. Our second stop in Norway was Molde, and this place was known as the City of Roses for very good reason. There were rose bushes everywhere, along with lots of other flowers and greenery. It was a really beautiful place. One of our favorite things that we did here was take a hike through the mountains with some seriously amazing views. After our hike, we got to try some authentic Norwegian lefse, and it was seriously the best lefse either of us had ever had. We then toured a historic village, and we met a goat, whose job it was apparently to trim the grass growing on the sod roofs in the village. And then that evening, we had an absolutely beautiful sail away through the fjords of Norway on our way to Iceland. Our first stop in Iceland was Akureyri, and we actually didn't end up spending any time in the city here. We spent the day exploring the countryside instead, and our first stop was Godafoss, an absolutely beautiful waterfall. There is some history behind this waterfall as well. When Iceland was converted to Christianity, some statues of the old gods were taken here and thrown into the water, and that is why it's called Godafoss. It means waterfall of the gods. We got to explore some really cool lava formations, and we found out that this is a place where they filmed some of Game of Thrones as well. There were a lot of spooky stories associated with this place, including that it was home to a troll that eats children, and also that it is the place where Satan fell to Earth. And then it was on to some hot springs, and this place felt like we were walking on the surface of another planet. It was super cool. The next day we were on to Ísafjörður, Iceland, where we went kayaking in the fjords, and this was easily one of my favorite parts of the entire trip. It was so incredibly beautiful. Afterwards, we got some lunch at a local restaurant, and I had the best cup of coffee I've ever had in my life. And the next day, it was on to Reykjavik. We spent the morning exploring Þingvellir National Park, which is right between where the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates meet. After an awesome morning exploring the countryside, we spent our evening exploring the city. second day in Reykjavik, snorkeling between two tectonic plates in crystal clear glacial water. It was incredible. We spent our next day taking a 4x4 tour into the countryside of the eastern coast of Iceland. The views here were absolutely incredible, and it was so fun to explore. This is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. I will never forget it. last day in Copenhagen, we decided to rent a boat and go sailing around some of the canals in the city. And if you ever find yourself in Copenhagen, I highly recommend that you do this. It is such a cool way to see the city. Alright, this is video evidence that Michael Thompson has sailed us successfully to the Opera House in Copenhagen. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Michael?
No, just enjoying the moment.
Then in the afternoon, we went to Tivoli Gardens, which is one of the oldest amusement parks in the entire world, and it's said that Walt Disney was inspired to create Disneyland after he visited here.
Another one.
Oh my god!
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
And then, after 3 weeks, 5 countries, 6 airports, and many memories later, it was time to head back home.